Brandon, are you getting sit your ass right there on the couch, right along with the 49ers faithful. Mr. Plan is salty looking. We'll get to that later, anyways. What's up? It's your boy Cintron, and I'm not kidding you. That's my real name, and I'm coming at you today with analysis, looking at this NFL.com article, and Super Bowl 57's top 10 game planning nightmares. So I'll be running to the Eagles players pretty quickly. I'm not trying to give intel to you fucking demons and you faithful Chiefs fans. Nah, I don't think there's much for me to go on there. But I'll be diving into mostly the Chiefs players and see what they're about. So let's get into this list and see who's number one. I think you have a guess. I think we both would agree on this. So let's see. Yes, it's Patrick Mahomes. So let's see what he brings to the table. Yes, he has A+ arm talent. Let's see. Opponents must find a way to keep Mahomes confined to the pocket with a disciplined pass rush that requires defenders to stay on their tracks while avoiding running past the depth of the quarterback's drop, which I agree. And I think the Eagles' pass rush, they have a philosophy. You have to earn the right to rush the passer. So I think they'll be disciplined enough to contain, similar to what defenses try to do to Jalen Hurts. But he isn't the same threat as Hurts to scramble out. But he's a magician back there. Underhanded passes, shovel passes, throwing from different angles and such like that. So if Jonathan Gannon's defense can clog Mahomes' escape lanes while dropping 7 and 8 defenders into coverage, the 5-star passer will be forced to dink and dunk game into a dink and dunk game that will challenge his patience as a playmaker. And I think so. His patience was challenged last week when he was limited in mobility and also in the latter half of the Jaguars game. So that, afforded him a good chance to adapt as a passer. I don't think that, what makes him scary is the off schedule, the improvisation, and when he has too much time back there. So I don't think he's going to afford that luxury due to the defensive line rushing his decision making, speeding up that internal clock of his. And like you said, the dink and dunk game, how will they play that? And Kelsey be a part of that. The backside of the field, backfield would be a part of that. Pacheco and Jared McKinnon, as well as what's the receiver's name? Juju Smith-Schuster, short, intermediate game, but he's a manageable receiver. But it doesn't really scare me. Like if they had Tariq, yeah. But are we gonna force him into being methodical? Take what he's given, and is he gonna be satisfied with that, like you're saying? So it's gonna be a cat and mouse, a good cat and mouse, but scary, especially not 100%. If he re-aggravates that ankle, we'll see how they have to adjust on the fly with that. All right, number 2, not a shock here as well. Travis Kelce. Let's see. He's a crafty route runner, power forward body, so he can shield away. And the way he does these half turns and these unconventional routes that he's just really just running it, winging it out there, just running it how he'd like to do it, how he thinks is the most efficient. You have to watch for that, and as well as him shoveling sometimes off to the nearest chief that when he's corralled in, that's something to be wary of, and I'm sure the defenders will be prepped for that. But yeah, he has a knack for finding open windows in zone, but I'm not sure how much zone we will play. He might get played zone with umbrella coverage, but I think on the outside they'll be playing man. So we'll see where that leaves him. The bracket coverages, he could face that, and sure, that leaves 1-on-1, but I like our chances on the outside against those other guys without shading or help for the majority of the game. And they'll switch up looks, and obviously we'll blitz as well, and stunts and games up front with that D line, and then we'll employ a 5-man front, and we'll see. We're gonna throw looks at him and at his quarterback and try to make him uncomfortable. But like I said, it'll be a good back and forth. to see how Andy Reid decides to call the game or be enemy. I don't know who makes the play calls there, but yeah, he's a future Hall of Fame tight end. So contain him, stop him, eliminate him, erase him. I don't expect that, but I don't think I'm not scared of him. This team just shows me, like the Eagles, that there isn't really anyone that should be scared of. Should be cautious of, wary of, prep for, sure. All right, moving on to the next person, Jalen Hurts. I think I'd put Kelsey up ranked below him because I think the defense is chiefly concerned with how to stop him, and they execute the RPO. So the thing is, we put the 49ers linebackers, Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, who's the best middle linebacker in the world, all pro. He took that mantle from Bobby Wagner, took over for him. But he had them pause last week, and that caused severe problems for that 49ers defense. They're the number one rushing defense, and we scored 4 TDs on them. And yes, Mike Tyson. And yes, it wasn't the best average. It was 3.7 average, but it still was very great. Well, it just went out and did. We controlled the game, and we had them on out of position and running these formations, and we looked at the alignment of the linemen they have. We ran to the side with the least amount of linemen. It was just easy. But it was just great scheme and great recognition. So usually we had made those decisions later into the game, waited longer to make the adjustments, but this was win or go home. I mean, really win or go home, because you regret not making that next leap to the Super Bowl, the final game. But they really did well, the coaching staff there, and they've been lights out in the playoffs. So I think they'll also continue to do the same thing with Jalen, put him in advantageous positions, and I think put a lot of stress on that Chiefs defense. Because like I said, those linebackers, Bolton and Gay, they're not better than Warner and Greenlaw. They're more comparable to Greenlaw, but I don't even think. I mean, I could say Bolton is on Greenlaw's level, but I think Greenlaw's a little bit of a cut above the way, just with the speed which he plays with. Could be wrong. I mean, but Bolton leading tackler, but I want to see, were those mostly assist, or was he making those solo? I'd probably lean towards him not making. Yeah, him making those solo, because he wasn't highly rated in the league. Maybe a top 10 linebacker, but definitely not a top 5. And top 5 are like special. All right, let's get on to the next guy. Chris Jones. This guy, game wrecker. But the caveat being, last week he wrecked an already broken in shop. That place already had some tables broken and legs missing, jewelry already absconded with the glass already broken. That O-line, 3 starters were already compromised, and by way of injury, the center was injured. One was a rookie, and the other one was a journeyman. So I mean, like, who are you playing up against? That's like like beating on the handicap. You really get points for that? So I mean, like, yeah, and the fact being also that it was his first 2 sacks of any postseason. That he's he's been there for a while in Kansas City. So you take that with a grain of salt. And yeah, there's Frank Clark. There's the rookie Karlaftis. They've been solid, but we've neutralized every defensive line we've come up against this year. The 49ers, all we heard was Bosa and Armstead and Kinlaw and Greenlaw and Fred Warner. Abused them last week, made them look ordinary for a good portion of that match, like especially those one-on-one matchups. You look at all across the line, we have either a Pro Bowl or a Pro Bowl alternate. Jordan Mailata, left tackle, Pro Bowl alternate. Landon Dickerson, Pro Bowler. Jason Kelsey, All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Right guard, Isaac Seumalo, Pro Bowl alternate. Right tackle, Lane Johnson, All Pro. Pro Bowl alternate. Pro Bowler. So I mean, like it's like we're gonna attack a weakness, and people were saying like Chris Jones had 3 sacks against he had no sacks against Kelsey in 2017, but he had 3 sacks against Isaac Seumalo in 2017 when they faced each other. Isaac Seumalo was a second-year player. He's gotten much better, and this line as a cohesive unit. Even if we need to, we with Dexter Lawrence and another All-Pro on the Giants that we faced, double teamed him when we had to, and one-on-one Kelsey also could stand his ground. And he plays with technique. People were like, oh, the size. It's just get out of those dimensions. If it was all just about size, they would line him up off the bus and just call it quits. It's about playing with leverage, playing with technique, understanding break down on film and understanding the formations and tendencies and habits. Like you pick up on all those things, you study those things so you can know your opponent inside and out and know how to counter them, know what moves they like to use, employ, know their hints, their tells. Like all those things are important. If you Chris Jones doesn't scare me. He's wrong. He's a beast. He's a load. Pause. But still, he can be handled. He can be handled. So, yeah. Even if he goes to the outside, and even if we do need to, we can chip. We can chip. I don't think Lane Johnson will need any help on the outside. Nor Jordan Mailata, if he goes to the outside, because I don't think he's going to be that effective. He did that primarily because it was a winning matchup for him versus a weaker lineman. He can poke and prod, but he's not going to poke any holes in his offensive line. So, all right, next guy, Hassan Reddick. This is the guy you guys should be fucking worried about. For me, this matchup scares me for you guys because your right tackle is a weakness. He was on that line at left tackle that got destroyed by the freaking Buccaneers. So that's why people say this line is number 2. I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. I really can't wait for this matchup. Trench is going to be so important on both sides, but I want to see this offensive line and how they stack up against our defensive line. Because he doesn't switch sides. He stays primarily on the right side, and that's going to be a challenge. Yeah, you're going to have to chip. That means, you're going to have less time to for those routes to develop. You're going to be counting on maybe 2 or 3 routes to run that. That's the advantage. That's a win for the coverage. And I like, other teammates to win one-on-ones. We had 4 guys with 10 plus sacks or more in the regular season. And then, 5th guy, Fletcher Cox, who's also a starter, 7 sacks, not bad. And one of those other guys who had 10 sacks is coming off the bench. And then we have 7 or 8 linemen that could start for other teams across the league. And 4, 5 of them are backup. What? I can't wait to see this matchup, man. Okay, let's move on to another guy, Javon Hargrave. And he gives such a push. He really stepped up another level when he came to Philadelphia as a pass rusher. 11 sacks this year, just beastly. Thick trunk, okay, pause. But he just pushes through that line. He just knifes through like butter. So I want to see him. I don't know if he's going to be matched up with Creed Humphrey, but it's going to be a good matchup back and forth because he's been in the PFF number 1 rated center for the last 2 years, and I'm like, I don't see it. I just see Kelsey being on the top side. Maybe I'm wrong, but 1 or 2, that's inconsequential. But that just means he's a very, very, very great player. He's a quality starter. So I want to see that matchup and see how they hold up, especially against those games inside. And I really want to see them try to attack that right side, like I said. But Javon Hargrave, he's going to bring his lunch pail. He's going to do some work. He's going to come to work and apply pressure. So we'll see if they can hold up, like I said, that interior trio. Highly touted, but we'll see. All right, let's move on to the next player. A.J. Brown, man. I really like his chances as well. For them, it's scary. On the outside, he's being matched up with rookies. And But Jared Sneed, I mean, he's not a rookie. You know, he's played solidly, but just physically he doesn't, hold up, match up. Not like it's going to. He's really going to test that defense and test their discipline, especially with, like, I think them starting maybe three, at least two rookies, but like those corners, but like two to three rookies in that secondary. This could be a recipe for fucking disaster. And he's the big body. He can get deep. So I mean, like, you gotta be disciplined. But when he runs double move, we're gonna test those guys with double moves and like running crossers and like just making them run and throwing different formations and route combinations. Underneath routes where there's one over the top. So they're gonna have to pass the eye test. And AJ Brown was explosive this year, man. And doing the RPOs, like, are they gonna stick with their man? When they get full deceit, they're gonna have to stay in their lane. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pull it off. All right, next, I didn't see this one. Like, Josh Sweat, I like him as a speed rusher. Now I think, Well, I think for this reason, he gives Orlando Brown problems because Orlando Brown has been inconsistent up and down. He made the Pro Bowl, but it can be a popularity contest. And just for that fact, they say he was inconsistent, and he struggles against speed rushers. And Josh Sweat has developed each and every year, gotten better, and he's known for his speed. He runs a 4.53. Had a pick six against Dak Prescott, showed off his wheels, and it's scary because I mean Orlando Brown, like, he's a big body, but he can get fooled. Like, the guys get underneath him, and he's 6'8", whatever. He's huge, humongous, and unlike Jordan Mailata, our left tackle, he hasn't learned how to truly use his frame, use his giftings, use his body to wall those guys off. They get under him, and the lower man wins. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they can he can protect. Can you protect Mahomes from this man? I don't know if he can do it. All game. Depends on his motor as well. He's been, he's known to be, go through hot and cold stretches. So that just might make him sweat. See what I did there? All right, let's go on to the next one. Jerick McKinnon. I don't like this one just because, for me, solid isn't scary. Yes, he can score. Yes, he knows the offense well. He brings about a veteran presence. And in combination with other players, maybe he's potent, but I'd rather go with Pacheco. I'd say he's the more like intriguing that because he's unknown. How we react to being on the stage and the screen game. The guy does run about 4.37, so it's legit. And he's like 210 or something like that. So he's not a light back. He's somewhere in between power and thunder. Lightning and thunder, but he's elusive, and he has those pass catching chops, 800 plus rushing yards in the regular season. But the stage will it be too big for him? McKinnon has that steady hand, so it'll be interesting to see who they go with here. But it's just not scary. I could have said it could have said like Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, but I don't know if their availability being in question at this point. Made them question mark or left them off the list. And let's get to our last one here. Devonta Smith, the Slim Reaper, him being the last guy. I mean, he's just silky smooth, and I like that he's going to challenge those young guys in route discipline. His little sticks and nods, fakes. At the top of the route, his stemming is going to really test those guys. Get hands on him, sure, press, but he can beat you at the line as well. So I think he's a much scarier matchup from that vantage point. Him beating you, getting past you, beating you deep, than AJ Brown. Because AJ Brown, he can get moving and he's fast, but he takes a bit to build up. But Smith is just smooth. He's like a pure scotch or whiskey. He just goes down smooth. So yeah, against zone coverage, off coverage, you can try to use different techniques, but he's tougher than he looks. Um, yeah, don't give him a big cushion. I don't think that's a good idea. So I was trying to say go for bump and run. Uh, Try to use your size advantage. You might have a strength advantage, size advantage, but then again, I don't know, man. He's just slippery, man. So I'm concerned for y'all guys. All right, so let's move on to extra out of bounds territory. We'll see, but the Pro Bowl. Myles Garrett dislocates his toe at the Pro Bowl, and just like another reason not to play this game. You're like, ugh, why would you even want to go out there and risk it? Even in light games, but you're risking injury just for child's play. And it just what is worth? I mean, like a game. I see why it's worth it for the players and more chill. It's better than having a contact sport, but out there with them tackling. But it's not. I don't think it's gonna draw the eyes. I mean, I think they're just gonna have to revise this and reformat, or try something new again next year. And then like some players leading into Josh Jacobs, he admits that the Pro Bowl is stupid as it is. He's like, why are we out here even doing this? And that leads that discontent from the players is telling. What way, shape, or fashion can we get this out here to make it appealing, make it worthwhile for the people that are coming? Because they're just coming to see these guys, but a waste of activity, just seeing them play kids games. I don't know. I'd say bring back the style where they were running 40s and like testing their strength with like bench press and some of the training camp drills we have in Madden 05. Like, yeah, those would be fun to see them go through or something like that, or just testing their speed and like maybe unconventional things that they're not used to. Archery, teaching them archery or kendo, or just mixing it up. Nothing too physical so they would get injured, but I don't know. Just some ideas. All right, next, Devontae Adams makes a pitch for Aaron Rodgers. He's trying to recruit, so it's apparent that his college buddy at Fresno State, Derek Carr, is out of there. And the Raiders don't want him in there any longer. Could they go after Aaron Rodgers? I think it would make sense. I'd love them to get him out of the NFC, but it would make that division, especially for the Super Bowl participants, Chiefs, much more difficult, competitive. But does Rodgers want to go? Will he need to upgrade on his salary? I mean, the Raiders have the money, the cap space to afford that. But it just is. Well, for him, I'm president of the territory. He'll be maybe I don't think he'll be a free agent, so it might just be a trade. But yeah, I think it's a trade. He's got two or at least 3 more years left on his contract. So it'd be a good fit. But then does Aaron want to go there? That is the big question. But last here we'll get to Mr. Planter's salty peanut, Brandon Ayuk. So he's mad that and saying that the Eagles are lucky to have made the Super Bowl, and that if you bet money, if you're gonna gamble on the Super Bowl, you should bet every cent, penny, dollar, sell your possessions and liquidate them to get cash to put money on the Chiefs. I'm like, come on, bro. You just talking out your ass right now because you were butthurt. You butthurt, and like you got lucky. No, it wasn't luck. We put Purdy out the game. It wasn't Purdy, but hey, we did what we needed to do to win that game. Blame that, and like I said, I've been saying this. Like I said this ad nauseum, but blame Kyle Shanahan. Who put a tight end on Reddick? You, Kyle. That's who did it. So I mean, you want to blame somebody? Look at your head coach. Why y'all down 3 quarterbacks? Look at your coach. The play calling. I mean, that's just suspicious. Okay, 1 or 2, I'm like, cool. Okay, 3, okay, 4. Wow, that's amazing, man. And nobody could sure plan for that, but you have nobody else to look at but. So. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna go out and justify, and then he goes on a rant. Bro, shut up. You mad? Stay mad. So we're gonna fly on out of here. So fly, Eagles, fly. See you next time, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share.
Subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.